If your marriage feels more like roommates than lovers, or if stress has built a wall between you, this podcast is for you.
We're Andrew and Lara, marriage coaches and happily married couple of nearly 20 years.
We're best friends, partners in adventure, and living proof that marriage can be both joyful and strong.
Every week we'll share real stories, practical tools, and one simple shift you can make to go from disconnection to intimacy, and from survival to thriving together.
Welcome back to our podcast. This is about marriage miscommunication and why you keep missing each other.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. And you ever think, I said it clearly, yet it still landed wrong. He still didn't get it, or she still didn't get it. Because most conflicts are not just about words. The words cut, yes, and they sting. But they're also about your tone with each other. They're about the tension in your day, the tension in your relationship, what's been going on.
Yeah.
Classic example, last night I was wrecked. Andrew worked extra. He had extra to do. It was Saturday. There's always a big picture, isn't there? Like the big picture is that if he's working extra, I'm working extra because kids are
A handful.
A handful. There's a lot to do. There's the meals, the housework, caring for them, managing them, driving them where they need to be. There's one in middle school and there's one approaching middle school. It's an age, if you've got little ones, you get this. If you've got teenagers, you get this. You may be more in taxi mode, but you get this. I was falling asleep last night and I was wrecked. I was full of tension. I was tired. I was just feeling depleted. And I said something really cutting to you right before I went to sleep. And you know what? It was so sweet. He still was like, I'm going to give her a foot rub, which was so amazing. And I fell asleep. And then this morning, when I had some replenished sleep, Andrew went out with my son this morning, and then he sent me a voice message letting me know that hurt. And that was good because not only he respected she's tired and needs to sleep right now, we're not going to have a productive conversation, but he showed up for me and then this morning reached out to say this is how that made me feel. And I said, I'm sorry. That's just a normal part. You should have those levels of conflict. If you have no conflict, I would be worried.
From my side, the highlights of that story sounds like Andrew's just like, boom, boom. Yeah, I can take all that. Awesome. I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to love on you. It's all good. So
that didn't hurt.
Some would hear me right now, or some man listening would say, you're a total doormat, man. Like, what's that about?
Yeah.
Why didn't you have it out with her? Definitely in the moment, I knew there was time and place. It's like, she literally said, I can't get into this now. And so, but I clocked at the time, I'm like, okay, what she's talking about, there's some good in that we need to hash that out more. It's obvious that I thought I'd given my plan and I've given my side of the communication there, and that was clear, but obviously it's not. So we'll get into that. And then I literally sat down to say, well, she needs a foot rub to go to sleep better. She doesn't sleep that well. So I said, I want to show her love because I know that we'll work this out and I want to build this thing together. We're going to work this thing out. And I want, like you want, the best for our kids and us. Let me just give you a foot rub. And she's like,
I was like, that's just so like you. But I knew too, because we've built this environment of safety and connection, I knew that we would talk about it in the morning. And if he hadn't brought it up with me how he did, I would have said, I'm so sorry for how I spoke to you last night, because that's how we are with each other. We keep small accounts.
Yeah.
And we've got enough... those 5 really good things that happen for that one negative, the 5 good things that have happened in our day outweigh in the terms of how we function together. Yeah. So we have this environment of gratitude and respect for each other. And honestly, total admiration. I have total admiration for Andrew, total love. And he knows that. I said, you've worked so hard in that communication text this morning, because sometimes you are literally physically not able to have a conversation when you have kids in person. But I said, I know how hard you're working and that we need to do that in this season. But the other side is I'm just depleted and tired. And I was like, I don't need you to change anything.
Yeah.
I just want to be heard.
Yeah. And I get that it can feel like there's so many ways that you feel disrespected by the way you've communicated or that she's communicated to you or something like that.
Yeah.
So I get that. And again, it's hard sometimes to know that, oh, I know she respects me. She loves me like crazy. And, I'm everything to her. Because sometimes you feel like she doesn't feel that. And you get so hurt by the thing that's going on. Go back to our fights episode, because that was really cool. And you can,
a few episodes back.
You can get that, some of the key tools. What's some of the psychology of this? Or what's the...
Yeah, well, what's interesting, what Andrew just talked about, and we did an episode on it, end fights fast, because actually the first 5 minutes, studies have shown, of conflict predict whether that conflict is going to be successful in actually getting a resolution or just spiraling. So being able to not yell insults at each other and have a calm tone and work it out in a way that's mature and listening to each other, even when you are hurt and you are upset, not like yelling over each other. And that's actually going to predict a better outcome and a better ability to repair, because there's this thing where you're going to rupture in marriage and in long-term relationships, but you need to repair. That's just a normal pattern. And when you're in a pattern of good repair and you know that rather than just screaming at each other but nobody hearing, you're actually going to be able to predict that argument will end quicker by how your arguing style. And so there's a thing about this arguing style that Sue Johnson, who uses these words of pursuer versus withdrawer, both are seeking safety differently. So are you a pursuer in terms of, I'm going to come after you? I know Andrew's definitely a pursuer. I'm going to come after you and I'm going to try and fix this. And I don't care how late it is. He's definitely got wisdom around, look, I'm not going to get a good result, but he will pursue me in repair. Some people sit more in the withdrawal pattern. And by Andrew pursuing, he's seeking safety. The person who's withdrawing from you and going into a cave maybe for 3 days and not, they're also seeking safety and sometimes revenge. And that's something I think that needs to be worked on, that those patterns of it's actually a choosing to disconnect. It's choosing to passively continue an argument. So if you want to resolve that fight and you want to stop having this marriage miscommunication where you're missing each other, recognize whether you're pursuing or you're withdrawing. Both of those are seeking safety.
I was more wired as a withdrawer earlier on, when I didn't have the conversation or the communication tools or the right words, or in the moment it's just sometimes hard to say what I really mean or process well. So I've probably been more historically as a withdrawer, and then it's good for the withdrawer, so some of you attune to that, is to the leadership and the passion within a marriage is the person to say, okay, I get that, and withdrawing might be, a day or something where I go, I just need to lick the wounds, or I just need to get my head around this, or just let this settle a bit. And then, but without any movement toward, it ain't going to go anywhere. We need to, go toward to get that repair. The pursuer might be more dysfunctionally like someone who goes at the other person to say, rah, and they go on, bring up all these things from the past or all these things that add to the picture.
And that's more of an aggressor than a pursuer, right? Yeah, but maybe they're still seeking safety.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking of that. Yeah. They're just still seeking safety because they want to get their words out. They want to process all that. Yeah. And they probably need to just have some sense of withdrawal or come back and just more seek repair rather than...
So if you find yourself sort of defending your tone instead of tuning into each other and just being... you're talking to me, you're so angry at me, and then you're just like, I'm not angry, What you've actually done is completely missed the point of the argument. You've got to be tuning into what's going on underneath the tone. And if you're just focusing on that sort of thing, then you're often protecting your ego rather than... your connection. And I think the reason that we fight but we repair well is that we're both fighting for the connection. We're, as a team, like, let's nut this out together.
We've always been wired for that.
And let's fix the connection. You're right. We've always been like that, rather than I want to be right. I want to be right, and we're just going to punish each other because you need to come to my side of the table, I need to come to yours. We need to be fighting, going, the ultimate goal here is to fight for the connection, not for against it, which is that's ego.
Good. But I get you, everyone who's looking at this saying,
that's not easy.
That's not easy. Like, I just flit into a defensiveness, and I do. I can't count how many times that's been my default because of the things it brings up and the wounds and all the things.
But, it's going to trigger everything.
And usually for me, just to bare my soul a little is just that I feel disrespected underneath, something that's what's really going on. So it's to kind of so sometimes that retreat to go, okay, what's going on here? Can I just reset a little bit towards, what's repair? What's the real thing going on here? What's really the issue rather than what just got brought up?
And just as an aside, this week, our daughter, if things got tense in the house, she was like, I love how she does this. She'll say, I'm feeling stressed. And I'm like, thank you for telling me. It is stressful when there's tension around you. And she's like, from now on, I'm going to use the word pineapple. And when tension comes up, this is real, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say pineapple at the table. And everyone just laughed. And it dissolved the tension that was happening in our family.
And then since then, cute. 3 to 4 times a day, we hear pineapple.
I think it's really cute.
It's awesome.
But you know what? If that works for you, by all means, go ahead and do it.
Yeah. A body, mind, heart shift. And to think of how can I just reframe myself and reset myself? Some clear and beautiful and lots of studies have been done on deep breathing and just simple breathing. So when it's just, how can I reset this stuff right now and quickly? Well, deep and low breathing can really reset your nervous system. But I know some of you are listening to that and saying, yeah, everyone's saying to breathe right now. Like breathing. Yeah, I breathe, okay? So if that's not your jam, what we're talking about is shifting from a sympathetic nervous system drive where I'm just on alert, I'm defensive, or whatever is going on for me, to a parasympathetic, which is just more a relaxed state and where my body can breathe, can rest, digest and heal, and that's the parasympathetic drive.
Yeah.
So that can be getting outdoors. So this has been called foresting, being outside.
Yeah.
So literally for a few minutes. And it's been how wonderful that can be for your nervous system. That can be looking at art. That can be listening to music. And so there's been some research on all those things which will just shift your nervous system. So it's probably something physical to shift where you are, shift your body a little bit. So some of this body, mind, heart shift, where we're saying roll your shoulders a little, just reset, deep breathe, move a little bit and just get your body into a shift state. So that's the shift. That's what we're trying to do.
And that's true. And if you want to find out more about the body, mind, heart shift, we have a simple tool you can get at andrewandlara.com, and it's just a free download that you can grab and do tonight together in order to help shift your body stress, your mind stress, and bring you closer together in your heart. It's really, really beautiful. Yeah. But what you're saying is a breath isn't just about I'm going to breathe. It's about creating safety, and taking that breath is saying, hey, body, mind, heart, you're safe. You're in fight or flight, you're reacting to your spouse, and maybe you have a right to be, but just for a minute, let's calm down so that you can get into your rational mindset, because we talk about this with our kids, the upper and lower brain, or the reactive brain that you're just firing and you're not thinking, and the reasoning rational brain. And when you're having a fight, what you want to train yourself to do is to try and get into that reasoning rational brain and out of that reactive brain. And if you can calm yourself down, as Andrew was saying, you will actually work out whether you can connect or continue to collide. And you want to connect. You're actually both fighting to be closer underneath all of the stress. So quick check this week is breathe once before responding and notice your posture. Just notice what you're doing with your body. And take a moment to say, hey, I just want to calm down because I don't want to collide. I want to connect. It's actually a quick little thing.
That's it.
You can do.
Or 1 minute, step outside, look outside. Look at the garden.
Yeah, and by doing that, you're breathing and saying, hey, you're safe, body. And then you can do this. It's called the try again reset. It's really fun. It's like, sorry, can we start this fight again? Can we try again? Because this is spiraling. We're both in reactive. You might not be saying that, but this is the heart behind it.
Yeah.
Can we just start again? Can we try that again? Because it's signaling safety, going, gosh, we've spiraled, and curiosity. And I think we can do this better. And what's coming up for you right now? We say this a lot. What's coming up for you right now?
Yeah, because that attunes to the other person to say whatever's coming up or the way I've reacted already has cause some more issues going on, but it can help us get focused on the real issue at hand. Yeah, I think the resetting, the stepping away and coming back is every time I've done that and come back to you, after maybe kids have got down or I've gone out for that outdoor few minutes and come back, I sort of teeter in to think, oh, I'm on edge. Is she just going to be in that state? But it's not. She's shifted. And she's in this open state of like, and she's just, she's moved on to something. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then so it's an open place to say, okay, I'm going to start again. Let's start this again. And
if I was a cartoon, I'd be Dory. I'd be like, what are we fighting about? I forgot. What? And Andrew remembers, like, you have that memory. I don't know which character that would be, but he remembers stuff like years later. I'm like, what? I don't remember that.
Something's to work on.
I'm Dory. Let's keep swimming. Let's keep swimming.
Why does this work?
Why does this work? Because when we say, can we try that again, it slows the stress response and actually keeps the body available for listening, which is available for connection. And that is what you're both going. You're actually fighting for that connection. So you're not bad at communication. You're human under pressure. It might need some new training and a bit more ability to calm yourself down so that you can get into that rational brain rather than into that reactive. Every repair teaches your marriage new skills if you let it. There's data there. Or what always happens. Okay, why does that happen? When you're in a calm spot, have a conversation about whether you think you're arguing well or arguing you could improve your technique.
The age-old thing, I'd say, not only it teaches your marriage, it builds your marriage. When we first got married, we had lots of great young friends at that stage who unfortunately were going through some marriage troubles. And we just said, what? And so we started to feel like, oh, once you're married, it's not just done. Once you're married, let's build from here. Let's build something great.
And no matter how much of a rubble your marriage might feel, like a house that's been knocked down, you can rebuild brick by brick and you can create something beautiful. Grab that free reset because it will create a feeling of safety and then you can go into the tough talk that you need to have from that place of safety of the body, mind, heart, 3-minute marriage reset.
Maybe use it after the next tough talk that you have.
And we're in Thanksgiving week if you're listening and you celebrate Thanksgiving. We grew up in Australia, we didn't. But if you are, offer grace this holiday to each other. This is why we did this episode this week, because connection beats perfection. Offer grace, take some breaths if you need to get outside in the cold, if you're on this side of the world.
Have grace for each other, because often families coming together, families at Thanksgiving and then coming forward to Christmas.
And that stress,
is just there's more dynamics and more things that can be bringing out for each of you individually. So just have grace for each other.
Because ultimately, guys, you're on the same team. You're fighting for connection. And it may look different, one of you to the other, but you're both wanting that safety, whatever that looks like, whether you're chasing after and pursuing or you're withdrawing, both are looking for safety. And this Thanksgiving, I hope that you can have a time of rebuilding from the rubble if that's you. And we're with you guys.
And just some newer and closer connection than before.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us on Marriage, Intimacy and Healing. Remember, connection isn't about perfection, it's about showing up.
If you want a quick way to feel closer tonight, grab our free resource, The 3-Minute Marriage Reset, at andrewandlara.com. We'll see you next week, and until then, keep choosing each other every single day.